Picture this, two seasoned pilots. A renowned aircraft. A storm ahead. You might think flying is all about safety. But what happens when experience meets unexpected danger? Today, we dive into Delta Flight 191, a tragic accident that teaches critical aviation lessons. Delta Flight 191 was an L-1011 TriStar, known for safety. Pilots were confident as they approached Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. They saw rain and lightning ahead. Yet, they continued their descent. Soon, they entered a powerful thunderstorm. The pilots believed they could navigate the weather. But visibility vanished. Rain poured relentlessly, blinding the crew. Suddenly, the plane dropped. The storm's turbulence exceeded expectations. Within seconds, the crew found themselves in chaos. The aircraft was buffeted violently. Alarms rang out, indicating severe issues. In just 47 seconds, the situation escalated. The decision-making became urgent. The pilots fought against nature's fury. But the powerful storm was relentless. This tragic incident reminds us of risks in aviation. Even experienced pilots can face unforeseen dangers. It highlights the importance of weather assessments in flight safety. Think about it, how often do we rely on confidence alone? Delta Flight 191 serves as a sobering lesson. To sum up, always respect nature's power. Trust in technology, but don't overlook the signs. Flying is amazing, but safety must come first. If you're a pilot or aviation enthusiast, learn from this story. Share it with others. Hit the like button and subscribe for more insights. Let's stay safe in the skies together. As the turbulence roared, the pilots frantically communicated with air traffic control, seeking guidance amid the chaos. Their training kicked in, but the relentless storm was unforgiving, challenging their every instinct. The aircraft shuddered violently, as if rebelling against the very will of its crew, pushing them to the limits of their expertise. The seconds felt like an eternity as the pilots struggled to regain control, their hands gripping the yoke with a mixture of desperation and determination. With every severe jolt, the cockpit flooded with alarms, each warning a stark reminder of the perilous situation they faced. Just then, through the disorienting rain and lightning, they spotted a brief glimpse of the runway, a flicker of hope in a desperate time. With renewed focus, they adjusted their approach, fighting against the wind's fury, their only lifeline the fleeting view of the tarmac ahead. The storm screamed around them, each gust threatening to snatch away their chance for survival. Their hearts raced in sync with the throbbing alarms, an urgent reminder that every decision from this moment mattered. They steadied their breaths, reminiscent of countless training sessions, yet aware that books could never prepare them for this reality. Just as they began to align with the runway, another surge of turbulence struck, sending the aircraft into a precarious dive, testing the very limits of their skill. With the ground approaching rapidly, the pilots exchanged terse yet meaningful glances, a silent acknowledgement of the gravity of their predicament. Each second counted, and they knew that every maneuver had to be precise. In a heartbeat, they made critical adjustments to their altitude and speed, praying that their instincts would guide them true. As they pulled back on the yoke, the aircraft shuddered under the strain, but the runway was becoming clearer, illuminating their path through the shadows of the storm. A surge of adrenaline coursed through them. They were fighters facing overwhelming odds, bravely confronting nature's wrath. In a moment that felt suspended in time, the pilots exchanged a resolute nod, each silently affirming their resolve to pull through. As they fought for control, Thoughts raced through their minds, strategies from training mingling with instinctual reactions. With every passing heartbeat, they pushed aside the fear and focused solely on the task at hand, determined to outmaneuver the storm's ferocity. Ultimately, Delta Flight 191 serves as a powerful reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the critical need for vigilance in aviation. By sharing this cautionary tale, we honor those lost and strive to ensure that air travel remains as safe as possible for future generations. As they stabilized their flight path, the pilots remained acutely aware of their surroundings, weighing every potential decision under the relentless pressure of the storm. Each passing moment tightened the grip of uncertainty, yet their training and teamwork propelled them forward through the tempest. The aircraft shook violently as if relaying the tempest's fury directly to the cockpit, and the adrenaline surged as they raced against time to regain full control. Navigating through the chaos, the pilots relied heavily on their instruments, yet the tumult outside distorted their senses, making every reading feel like a trick of the storm. The rain pounded against the fuselage, each drop amplifying their anxiety as they calculated their options amid the turmoil. With one last glimpse of the runway, they prepared for the final approaches, acutely conscious that the lives of everyone aboard depended on their next moves. Adjusting throttles and directing their focus inward, they fostered a sense of unity, finding strength in each other's unwavering commitment to overcome the crisis. At that moment, they were not just pilots, they were a lifeline for their passengers, embodying resilience in the face of nature's overwhelming power. In the cockpit, tension escalated as the gauges flickered ominously, the pilots' hearts pounding in sync with the relentless storm. They could feel the atmosphere shift, each sound of thunder reverberating in their chests, as they adjusted their tactics. Communication became imperative, they coordinated their movements with precision, each decision weighted with the gravity of their circumstances. As the aircraft lurched violently once more, they fought against instinctive panic, focusing instead on the rhythm of their training. Determination flooded their veins, grounding them in the present as they reviewed their approach one final time. The flickering runway lights blinked like tiny beacons of hope, urging them onward. Their muscles tightened as they sensed the aircraft's responsiveness beginning to wane, the storm's grip seeming to tighten further around them. The pilots exchanged brief glances of understanding, a silent promise to push through together, guided by instinct and training. With every surge of turbulence, they recalibrated their approach, deeper into the storm's clutch, the surrounding chaos only fueled their fervor. Together, they harmonized their efforts, pouring every ounce of determination into regaining stability. The plane pitched and rolled, each jolt a brutal reminder of vulnerability, yet the twinkling lights of the runway drew them closer, a tantalizing promise of safety. As they neared the threshold, they could almost hear the pulse of the aircraft beneath them, urging them to rise above the turmoil. Their hearts synchronized against the backdrop of thunder, a testament to their unwavering resolve as they barreled forward, leaving behind the storm's anguish. It was a high-stakes dance between despair and hope, and the final minutes were a testament to human perseverance. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, the runway expanded before them, transforming from a mirage into a tangible target. The two pilots poured everything they had into their final approach, poised on the brink of both triumph and tragedy. As the wheels touched the ground, a collective sigh of relief echoed through the cockpit, the thundering storm still raging outside, but inside, somehow, they had found peace. As the aircraft finally touched down, the roar of the engines faded, giving way to the chaotic yet muted sounds of the storm beyond. The pilots, drained yet triumphant, glanced at each other, their eyes reflecting the shared weight of survival and duty. They felt a fleeting sense of victory envelop them, tethered by the bond forged in crisis. Yet, amidst their relief, they knew that this moment was also a stark reminder of their responsibility, not only to themselves but to every life on board. With the storm still howling outside, the pilots steered the aircraft towards the taxiway, the challenges of the day etched into their memories, resolute in their commitment to learn and adapt for the future. As they navigated the taxiway, the pilots took a moment to collect their thoughts and process the harrowing experience they had just endured. The sound of the rainfall softened, replaced by the hum of the engines as they slowed down, yet the adrenaline still coursed through their veins. They could feel the weight of what they had faced and the lives they had saved, a profound sense of duty now settled within them. This harrowing ordeal would not just be a memory, it would be a cornerstone in their careers, a lesson to reinforce their commitment to safety and vigilance in aviation. The storm had tested them beyond measure, but together, they emerged stronger, more united in a resolve that would guide them in future flights. As the aircraft taxied to its designated gate, the relief in the cockpit was palpable, a testament to the fragility of life and the unpredictability of the skies. The pilots exchanged weary smiles, a shared understanding that they had triumphed over adversity, yet a sobering acknowledgement lingered in the air. Every flight is a chance to learn, and today was starkly underscored by the turbulent dance with the storm, reminding them of the delicate balance between confidence and caution. With the engines finally powering down, they took a moment to breathe, reflecting on their roles as guardians of the sky, committed to preserving safety above all else. Their journey was not over, it was only just beginning. As they began to disembark, a wave of gratitude washed over them, mingling with the relief of survival. The terminal buzzed with life, passengers reunited with loved ones, blissfully unaware of the storm that had raged just moments ago. Each pilot took a deep breath, sensing the weight of responsibility transform into renewed purpose, reminding them that every flight is a story, one that continues to unfold in the name of safety and vigilance. As the pilots stepped into the terminal, the echoes of the storm faded, replaced by the warmth of human connection and shared stories. Their hearts swelled with a renewed understanding of their purpose, as they embraced the lessons learned from Delta Flight 191, vowing to carry that day's profound experience into every flight ahead. As they stepped out of the cockpit, the reality of their experience began to crystallize, and they couldn't shake the feeling of vulnerability that the storm had exposed. The din of the terminal surrounded them, but all they could think about were the lives that they had just safeguarded through their resilience and teamwork. Each pilot exchanged a knowing glance, a silent vow to continually honor the lessons learned that day, reminding themselves that every takeoff could usher in the unexpected. They found solace in the fact that they had remained steadfast amid chaos, ready to share their story, hoping to inspire others to appreciate the delicate balance of flying. Walking through the terminal filled with laughter and relief, they felt the weight of collective experience, realizing that aviation had no room for complacency. Amidst the bustling terminal, they began recounting their experience, speaking passionately about the intricacies of aviation safety and the importance of thorough weather assessments. As they shared their insights with fellow pilots and aspiring aviators, the palpable camaraderie in the room grew, uniting everyone in a common purpose, to ensure that such a terrifying episode would never be repeated. Each story exchanged was not just a tale of survival, but a commitment to improvement, safety protocols, and the preservation of life in the skies. With a sense of fulfillment and responsibility, they left their mark, knowing that through education and shared experiences, they could contribute to a safer future for all who ventured into the air. As they departed the terminal, the two pilots recognized that their harrowing ordeal didn't mark the end of their journey, it was an essential chapter in a lifelong commitment to aviation safety. With the memories of Delta Flight 191 etched into their minds, they resolved to advocate for comprehensive training and a culture of vigilance within the industry. They understood that sharing their story wasn't just about recounting events, but a call to arms for every pilot and aviation professional to learn from history and bolster their preparedness against unforeseen challenges. As they walked towards their next aircraft, a sense of duty enveloped them. They were not just pilots, but guardians of the sky, dedicated to transforming personal experiences into lessons for the future. As they continued their walk through the terminal, the atmosphere around them buzzed with new energy, a stark contrast to the turbulence they had just navigated. Passengers embraced, families reunited, and joy permeated the air. It was a reminder of the lives they had touched and protected during the storm. The pilots felt a swell of pride as they exchanged stories with others, each recounting their own journeys and challenges faced during flights. Each shared experience reaffirmed the importance of their mission, reinforcing the bonds between them in a time-honored tradition of mutual respect and shared learning. They realized the lessons from Delta Flight 191 were not merely personal, these were lessons for the entire aviation community, woven into the fabric of flight safety. In the shadows of the looming storm clouds, unity and purpose flourished, rekindling their commitment to excellence as they prepared for future flights, forever vigilant and devoted to protecting those who trust them with their lives. After exchanging their stories, the pilots stepped onto the tarmac, the warm sun breaking through the lingering clouds, painting a vivid picture of hope. This new day promised fresh beginnings, not just for them, but for all who flew, as they vowed to carry the weight of their experience into every future flight. Together, they made their way toward the aircraft that awaited, a symbol of their resilience and determination to embrace the lessons learned from their shared ordeal. With each step forward, they felt a renewed sense of purpose, dedicated to ensuring that the skies would always be a safe haven for those who sought to traverse them. As they approached the waiting aircraft, the pilots shared a moment of quiet reflection, feeling a deep connection to every pilot who had faced challenges in the skies. The sunlight filtering through the clouds seemed to illuminate their path, igniting a sense of hope and renewal within them. They couldn't ignore the weight of responsibility that came alongside their newfound resolve. Every takeoff carried with it the potential for unforeseen challenges, and they were determined to prepare for whatever lay ahead. As they climbed into the cockpit, both pilots exchanged a final, knowing glance, each silently promising to uphold the standards of safety and vigilance they had embodied through their recent trial. In that moment, they became not just leaders in their craft but also stewards of lessons learned, ready to guide those who would take to the skies after them. As they settled into their seats, a familiar calm enveloped them, but the lessons of Delta Flight 191 remained vividly etched in their minds. They initiated pre-flight checks, their movements methodical, born from experience and necessity, yet underscored by a fierce resolve to prioritize safety at every turn. With each checklist completed, they recalled not just the chaos they had faced, but the overwhelming unity among pilots and crews, a shared commitment that transcended individual experiences. The cockpit became their sanctuary once more, a space where they could embrace the responsibilities entrusted upon them, fortified by the knowledge that storms could be weathered, both literally and metaphorically. As they powered up the aircraft, the engines roared to life, echoing a promise that echoed their shared vow, safety above all else. As the aircraft's engines hummed steadily beneath them, the pilots exchanged determined glances, their sense of duty palpable in the dim light of the cockpit. They began to discuss the importance of establishing clear communication not only among themselves but also with their crew and air traffic control for future flights. Each word resonated with the gravity of past experiences, shaping their mindset as they prepared to navigate the skies once again. They knew that every flight would be a unique journey, filled with opportunities for teamwork, vigilance, and shared responsibility. Inspired by their tumultuous encounter, they committed to fostering an environment where concerns could be raised freely, ensuring that no storm would go unnoticed or unassessed. As they aligned their thoughts and goals, both pilots felt a renewed bond, fueled by their shared commitment to serving as advocates for safety in aviation, forever weaving the lessons of Delta Flight 191 into the fabric of their careers. As they reviewed their flight plan, the pilots remained acutely aware of the responsibility weighing on their shoulders, understanding that every decision they made could drastically alter the course of their mission. They embraced the collective wisdom of their experiences, knowing that communication and teamwork would be paramount in the face of any potential adversity. Alongside the hum of the engines, they discussed strategies to enhance their approach, incorporating lessons learned from their harrowing ordeal. This experience had solidified their resolve to cultivate a safety-first culture in every cockpit they occupied. With a shared goal in mind, they mentally prepared themselves for the flights ahead, optimistic that their commitment to vigilance would prevent the shadows of past storms from ever darkening their skies again. As they finalized their preparations, the atmosphere in the cockpit shifted, fueled by a blend of hope and determination. The pilots understood that their own stories could ignite awareness and shape a new era of aviation safety, where each lesson learned would resonate far beyond their experience. With a contagious enthusiasm, they plotted the course into the navigational systems, ensuring they would remain alert to every detail in the sky ahead. Each calculated move echoed the commitment they held to their responsibility, a promise to safeguard lives and elevate standards within the industry. They looked forward, knowing that they were not alone in their mission. They represented a collective of aviation professionals who relentlessly worked to learn, adapt, and rise above challenges, ensuring the skies remain safe for generations to come. In the glow of the cockpit instruments, the pilots felt a renewed energy surge through them as they prepared for takeoff. Each flick of the switches and each adjustment to the controls was imbued with purpose. They were not merely operating an aircraft, but carrying forward the invaluable lessons of resilience and teamwork learned through adversity. Their minds buzzed with strategies to enhance communication, allowing doubts and concerns to surface freely among the crew, ensuring they could navigate potential storms with foresight. With their eyes fixed on the horizon, they reminded each other of the crucial importance of pre-flight weather assessments, and the trust that needed to be established within their team, for it was this bond that would fortify them amid any turbulence that lay ahead. As they powered down the aircraft and disembarked, the two pilots took a moment to appreciate the beauty of the blue sky above, a stark contrast to the chaotic storm they had just conquered. The world around them buzzed with life, children laughed, families embraced, and travelers shared stories of adventures that lay ahead. In that moment, they felt a profound connection to all those who embarked on journeys, understanding that every flight was filled with hopes and dreams waiting to unfold. They exchanged a final glance, silently reaffirming their promise to honor the experiences and lessons from Delta Flight 191, united in their commitment to safety and the spirit of aviation. Every takeoff was now imbued with a deeper purpose, a chance to protect lives by weaving the wisdom gained into the broader tapestry of flight. With unwavering determination, they stepped forward, ready to embrace the next chapter of their aviation journey. As they stood at the gate, surrounded by the vibrant energy of the terminal, the pilots recalled the gravity of their shared experience, one that would forever alter their perspective on flying. They knew that the weight of responsibility they bore extended beyond their cockpit, it encompassed the lives entrusted to them. With a renewed commitment to the safety of air travel, they resolved to continue sharing their story, ensuring that the lessons learned from Delta Flight 191 would not be forgotten. As they watched families reunite and travelers embark on new adventures, they felt a deep sense of connection, understanding that every flight was a delicate balance of trust and duty. Each of their future journeys would be guided by this experience, a relentless pursuit of excellence in aviation safety at heart. As they prepared to embark on their next flight, the pilots reflected on the profound impact of their experience. The lessons of Delta Flight 191 lingered like a beacon, illuminating the path ahead with a sense of responsibility and purpose. They knew that the skies would always hold uncertainties, but together, fortified by their shared ordeal, they were committed to navigating those challenges with unwavering resolve. recognizing that each flight was not just a routine journey but an opportunity to safeguard lives and craft a legacy of safety, they stepped confidently into the cockpit, ready to face whatever awaited them. As they entered the cockpit once more, a sense of calm washed over them, yet whispers of apprehension lingered in the air. The instruments blinked to life, each light a reminder of the challenges they had faced, and they began the familiar rhythm of pre-flight checks, reinforcing their focus on every detail. The hum of the engines offered a reassuring backdrop, fortifying their resolve as they prepared to take to the skies again. Embracing the weight of their responsibility, they recalled how teamwork and vigilance were their greatest allies, essential for safeguarding the journey ahead. As they turned their attention to the myriad of gauges and controls, the steady hum of the engines urged them onwards, a reassuring reminder of the power they commanded. They confirmed their flight plan one last time, ensuring every variable accounted for, and shared knowing nods that cemented their preparation for the journey ahead. With the memories of Delta Flight 191 integrated into their very being, they sought not just to navigate the skies, but to embody the principles of safety, vigilance, and unity in every takeoff and landing. As the aircraft readied for departure, they silently vowed to honor their past experiences by always prioritizing the lives of those who entrusted them with their journey. As their aircraft rolled onto the runway, the pilots felt an exhilarating rush, knowing they were once again embarking on a journey filled with hope and potential. The roar of the engines harmonized with their beating hearts, providing a steadfast rhythm that echoed the commitment forged in overcoming adversity. They exchanged determined glances, each aware that this moment was not just about flights, it was about lives. With every inch gained towards liftoff, they reaffirmed their promise to remain vigilant, embodying the spirit of Delta Flight 191 by embracing the challenges that lay ahead. As they pulled back on the control yoke, the wheels lifted off the ground, propelling them into a new adventure, underscoring their dedication to safety and the responsibility they carried in the skies. They soared higher, leaving the turbulent memories beneath them, ready to guide others towards safer horizons. As they ascended into the clear blue sky, the pilots breathed in the fresh air of renewal and purpose. The weight of their past experience lingered subtly, but it was overshadowed by the immense gratitude they felt for the chance to fly once again. Each passing cloud reminded them of the challenges they had faced, yet they knew it was their duty to transform those challenges into opportunities for growth. Their journey was one of continuous learning, a commitment to fostering safety in every flight that lay ahead. With their hearts aligned to the values of safety, teamwork, and vigilance, the pilots readied themselves for the myriad of flights yet to come, their commitment ringing clearer than ever. Delta Flight 191 had not just taught them lessons of survival, it forged a legacy of responsibility that they would carry into the sky.